To the killings of the Cradock Four, Matthew Goniwe, Calata, Sicelo Mhlauli and Sparrow Mkonto will resume with its second sitting starting today until the 24th of October this year at the Gqeberha High Court. Mbulelo Goniwe, the nephew of the late Matthew Goniwe and the former chairperson of the Transkei Military Council, Bantu Holomisa, are among those who are expected to testify. Let's cross now to SABC News reporter Kim Daniels. Kim, good morning. And of course, there has been great interest in this particular inquest, the reopening of this particular inquest. But perhaps just start with a recap very briefly of what we have heard to date and what's expected today.
Morning, Sakina. Thank you. As you mentioned, it has been a very, very interesting inquest, or this being the third inquest into the deaths of the Cradock Four. If you can remember, back in June, we sat for the first session of this third inquest in the Gqeberha High Court. We were only there for one day, quite literally, before we moved on to an inspection in loco. This actually meant that the judge, all the lawyers, the families, all went on to the sites of where they planned the abduction. These are the former security branch, the former police, the former National Defence Force. These men had planned the abduction of the Cradock Four, that being Goniwe, Calata, Mhlauli and Sicelo. And this was in Cradock. We had driven to Cradock for the 2 days. We went to the police station where this happened. We went to the homes of these men where the family members were reminding us about the raids that they remember, how the police just came in and destroyed everything in the house, how they felt during these times. It was a very, very emotional time, especially speaking to the sons who were very, very young at this stage. But as they mentioned, it was a very, very vivid memory for them. And then on the way back at Olifantsco Pass is where their vehicles, or their vehicle rather, where the four of them were. They were abducted on this pass between Gqeberha and Cradock. And then we moved on the next day to the various areas where the bodies were found. They explained from this, and all this evidence comes from previous inquests, from the TRC, from inquests done in the late 80s and early 90s, how the vehicle they were in was burnt, where the bodies were, the condition the bodies were in. And if you can imagine, when you're standing there, listen to how your loved one died, being beaten and tortured and burnt alive. It was a very, very emotional time. And thereafter, we went into court where we heard the testimonials of these family members, of these loved ones, just explaining how disappointed they were in the government, not just the government of the apartheid, during apartheid time, but the government we are in now, who hasn't done anything, about getting the truth for these families so that they can have closure. That first sitting was quite emotional. I'm sure the second sitting will be too. As you mentioned, today and tomorrow, some community witnesses will be coming forward. The nephew of Goniwe will be speaking first now this morning. Thereafter, it will be our Deputy Minister of Defence, General Bantu Holomisa. He'll also be there. And then, very interestingly, on Wednesday, the first witness will be called from the lawyers of those representing these ex-security branch forces. That would be Eugene de Kock. So it'll be very interesting to hear what he has to say coming Wednesday. And I'm sure the family left very, very late yesterday from Cradock. So they are here, they will be in attendance. So it will be interesting to see what happens in court this week and next week.
Well, certainly. Thanks so much, Kim Daniels. And don't forget, you can, of course, follow all these proceedings on SABC News Live. And you can go to our website, www.sabcnews.com, from which you will have links to watch all of these proceedings live. If you haven't yet downloaded our app, that could also come in useful for you to follow all of these proceedings. All you need to do is download SABC Plus app, register, and you're good to go.